Hi, this is Chris, Video Game Dust Sleeves, and you're listening to the VGDS podcast with DanCavDragon,
Hello, hello, hello.
Bone06,
How's it going, everybody?
and Guest Gamers Dad Level Podcast,
Hey, folks.
OAS,
Game on.
and MT Shark 7.
Hey everyone.
Start off as the norm, sleeve it or leave it. First game, Batman Returns for the Game Gear. Bones.
Oh, I want to say yes, but I'm going to go with no.
OAS.
I'm gonna sleeve it. 3D pop that. Have the bat symbol popped out and pop out the characters as well. They look great. It's a good game.
DanCav.
I was gonna say no, but then Awaz made it sound pretty good, so I think I might have to sleeve it then after that.
MT Shark.
Yeah, I would sleeve it. This one's a hidden gem on the system.
And Dad Level.
I have fond memories playing it, so I would.
Next title, Land of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse. Bones.
I have a special spot in my heart for Mickey games. I have not played this one, but I would sleeve this one.
MT Shark.
Yeah, I would sleeve it. It's a good game.
Dad Level.
Sleeve it.
OAS.
Sleeve it.
And Dan.
Yeah, I like these Mickey Mouse games. I would sleeve it.
Next title, Woody Pop. Dan.
No, I don't think I would sleeve this.
Bones.
This looks like a flaming bag of poop. Nope. I'm going to skip it.
Dad Level.
Yeah, I'll follow suit. I mean, I don't like the cover art on it, so I would totally not sleeve it.
MT Shark.
Yeah, I'd sleeve it. It's actually a fun puzzle game.
And OAS.
I think I'd sleeve it, but maybe throw something else on there for the sleeve to make it stand out a little bit more.
Dan, were you going to say something?
No, I heard this was not a bad game. I just didn't want to sleeve it. Yeah.
The Mark III version has a paddle controller.
It's like a breakout type game, right?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, last title. It's another Disney thing. Bones, you're going to sleeve it? TaleSpin.
Nah. I'm going to skip it.
Dad Level.
Yeah, I'd sleeve it. I enjoyed the show, so.
DanCav.
I didn't like this on the other systems, so unless somebody tells me the Game Gear version was better, I would not sleeve it.
MT Shark.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sleeve it. I never played this one, and one I still need in my collection.
And OAS.
I'm gonna sleeve it, 3D pop it, and make Baloo stand out.
I like Blue. Blue's awesome.
Baloo.
All right.
It's the bare necessities.
That's
a
right.
different Baloo.
That's right. That is.
I just looked. I have Batman Returns and TaleSpin on Game Gear. Those are the only ones, though, out of the list that you have there.
Yeah, I'm dying to go back and try Batman Returns. Everybody said it was a great version on this game, so I do have it. I don't remember it.
Guess that box art. First image. Anybody?
No clue, man.
Oh no.
No.
That's really hard.
Did they make a Mary Poppins game? I just
I mean, it looks like a duster or something.
Yeah,
Yep.
Oh, it is. I thought it was a leaf.
Clue?
No. Now you guys know it's obviously Game Gear. Both of these are Game Gear. This is one a long time ago. It was on the podcast, but it was a different version of this game, and it wasn't a Guess That Box Art. Dan and
Where
Bones.
the red fern grows.
Dan and Bones were both on that podcast.
Oh man. Not every podcast.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. There's been a couple that you guys weren't here.
I have no clue, man. I could give a guess on the second one, but this
If
one
you
I have
look-
no clue.
In the top left corner, that will give you a little bit of a reason why you two should know it.
Grandma's brooch? I don't know. Like what is this?
I can't.
You're gonna kick yourself in the ass when I tell you what it is.
That's a pretty tiny picture too. I can't really tell what it is.
Yeah.
I got my face smashed up against the computer
Click-
right now.
Same here.
Click on the
I'm
image.
on the camera right now because
Click on the image.
it looks like a leaf to me.
Ah,
Well,
that should be a pretty decent clue as to what the game may be.
Leave me
Beca-
alone.
because this particular game, like I said, came out on it came out on the console, not only the handheld, but it came out on the console. And it's I can give you this as a hint. It's a movie. This is the same hint I gave you to the other one. It's a movie.
Movie.
Based off an old TV show? I don't know.
Robin Hood?
No.
Ghostbusters.
No.
I don't know.
I have no clue.
It sucks. Dan, you can't remember?
No, dusting the leaves or something.
Yeah, because that's a Game Gear game.
Clean off my car or something.
Yeah, it's an interactive simulator on the Game Gear.
You go to rich people's houses and dust off their fancy stuff.
Without trying to break it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you the letter. It starts with an A.
Addams Family?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Never would have got that.
That's kind of what I
That
asked
leaf,
you
that
about
leaf,
the TV show.
that leaf right there is the lettering. Same exact spot that I blew up last time, but it was the NES title.
And it's
Yeah.
Lurk dusting it.
Yeah.
Is the NES
Ah.
have the same thing in there?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same,
So-
Yeah,
almost
it's the same cover.
almost the same
Okay.
cover.
Wow.
I
wow.
just zoomed
Even
up.
same with the Genesis too.
This one, I just, instead of zooming up in on that leaf a lot more, I zoomed out, so that way I
Okay,
can give you more of
okay.
the image.
It didn't help us at all.
Apparently not. You guys couldn't even remember that.
I do remember now. We spent a lot of time, on the logo and stuff for that one. Yeah.
Next one should be a little easier.
Yeah, I know this one.
Go ahead.
To Pinball Fantasies.
Close, but that's not it.
Is it Pinball Dream or something?
Yep. Pinball Dreams.
Hey.
Yep.
Oh jeez.
Nope, I don't have either of those games, so I definitely would not know those, so I'm not surprised.
All right, Bones.
Okay, guys. After that extravaganza of guessing the box art of old ladies' hats and brooches, let's move on to Logo Sleeve of the Month.
You don't have to guess this one.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to guess the game to go in here. So, Firefly Family Game in version 1. This Dust Sleeve is who we have for this podcast. I've never seen this one before.
Nope. This one is an older one. They're actually in here, actually, believe it or not. I have to get their intro done.
Yeah, I've never
It's
seen that
it's
one
a
before.
couple. It's a couple that do this YouTube channel.
Nice. Does anybody have a suggestion on what game that they think should go in there?
WrestleMania.
I was gonna say they're a big wrestling couple,
Yeah.
and Firefly is part of the, I guess the wrestler, the tag that
Yep.
he uses. So
Nice. Well, if anyone's interested in this sleeve, contact Chris and he will accommodate.
all right, Danny.
Oh no, I was gonna say that the color scheme reminds me of the NES Taito games like Legend of Kage and
Oh,
Elevator
yeah, I know what you're
Action.
talking about. Yep.
Yeah, so that would go well in that sleeve.
Yeah,
But
what's so?
definitely didn't know that was a wrestling. Well, Firefly, that's Bray Wyatt, right? Is that what?
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, franchise of the month is obviously Game Gear related. I have a feeling this is gonna be really easy. So we have a lot of Game Gear experts here, but at the top there's 5 games. I'll read them off: Axe Battler, Chicago Syndicate, Defenders of Oasis, Legend of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse, and Revenge of DranCon. So one of these is an original game, as far as I know, and 4 of these come from a franchise. Which of these is not part, let's just say, of a franchise or spin-off, or was part of or a spin-off from another franchise? And then name for the other 4, name the actual franchise that they're from. Anybody know the answer to this, or wants to take a stab at this?
I have no clue, dude. Dude, I'm not an expert like you guys. I only have 1 Game Gear. You guys are rambling off like 3, 5. Yeah, you're out of my realm, buddy.
Chicago Syndicate? I don't know.
What is not part of the
Which is
spin-off?
not part of another franchise. One of these is totally an original game on its own, I think.
I think Defenders of Oasis is the only one that sort of fits that.
But isn't that part of the Oasis series?
I don't think it actually is. I think it's its own thing, and then Beyond Oasis and was it Legend of Oasis?
I think so, yeah.
I think those 2 are connected, but I don't think Defenders of Oasis is.
You're
Yeah,
absolutely
that's
correct, Oaz. Good call there. I put that on purpose, trying to throw people off, and that's correct.
Well,
Defenders-
Mickey Mouse is part of a
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier.
Syndicate. I'm almost 100% sure it was part of one. I wasn't sure about the first one though.
That one I had to use the Japanese art because the American art gives it away.
Yeah, because it's Golden Axe.
Golden Axe.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
It's a good game too.
Axe Battler, is that what it's called?
Axe Battler, yeah. It's a fun playthrough.
Chicago Syndicate may be probably the hardest one to figure out. Anybody have a clue? Which
I had to look it up, but I was like, how is that one? Because I knew Defenders of Oasis, but then I was like, but Chicago Syndicate, and so I had to cheat to make sure it was Defenders of Oasis. I'll leave that one for someone else.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, without looking it up, I don't think I would know right away.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Oaz.
it's Eternal. It's a spin-off of Eternal Champions.
Really?
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Weird.
He's
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
He's one of the characters.
That makes absolutely no sense at all.
Eternal Champions is a fighting game, and I don't even remember the guy's name. The Chicago cop detective guy.
Let me see.
But he stars in his own game on the Game Gear.
Larson Tyler.
Okay, Larson Tyler. There you go.
Right, because that's like just a normal average Joe name. Like,
Of course.
And then what a perfect choice to spin off a game from. An obscure character on an obscure fighting game. Legend of Oasis, that's obvious. There's, we talked about the Mickey Mouse.
yeah,
It was in your box art or sleeve, leave it. I didn't realize that this was like an entire series. There's several games. They're all Illusion, and actually there's a new
there
Switch.
are a lot
There's
of
a new
Illusion
Switch
games.
game coming out.
Is there?
Yep, that's the next installment of the
Oh,
Illusion series.
bones. You might have to get
no.
a Switch game for it. Has Illusion in the title.
It's I forgot what it's called, but it's a new Illusion series. I mean, a new installment in the Illusion series.
Something like Illusion Island or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
What are they up to? Like 5
Just
games
one.
now?
Not that many, yeah. There's like 3 or 4, I think. And then finally, Revenge of DranCon. Anybody have an idea about this one?
It's Wonder Boy.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
Why they changed the name?
Yeah, why did they change the name? That's a big ass name change.
This is Sega after all. We changed their mascot, or they changed their mascot, for the Genesis. So, who knows?
Well, they
Alright.
had several for the Master System, so.
Yeah, that series, the Wonder Boy series, has so many different names on different systems and different consoles. I should chart it out one time and figure out how many variations there are of that game. All right, the second part of this the second part of this franchise of the month is Spot the Grail. Some of these are there's 6 games here. Some of these are very high priced if you want to go hunt them down, and some of them are extremely cheap. So Pete Sampras Tennis, Poker Face Paul's Blackjack, Arena Maze of Death, Taz Escape from Mars, Mega Man, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Please tell me that Poker Face Blackjack is not a fucking expensive game.
Anybody want to guess which ones are the expensive ones and which ones are the cheap ones?
I already know.
Yeah.
Know? Yeah, I think anybody who collects games for the system would know.
Well, I can tell you right off the bat, Taz and Sonic are going to be 2 cheap ones.
Yep.
That's correct.
Mhm.
There's one more cheap one on here.
Just think every other one.
The blackjack.
Yes.
It's cheap.
I was going to say that's got to be the only other logical, but you would think Sampras would be a cheap game, but it's not.
Yep, that's one of the
That's the most expensive.
Right.
Yep.
And Arena's not cheap. I thought that looked generic enough where people were probably like, that's probably a crappy game.
Yeah, it's like an $80 game.
Yep.
Yeah. I'd like to get it, but I'm not.
80 for Arena Maze.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much is Mega Man?
Couple
I
hundred.
think it's. Yeah,
That's
I think it's
expensive.
up to like,
That's $228 if you buy loose.
So
If
what's
you
the
buy-
what's tennis then? If that's 228, you're saying the most expensive one is the tennis?
It's 600 range. If
Are you
buy the
kidding
box,
me?
And it's 130 loose.
Oh,
Jeez. I don't know why anybody want to play a tennis game, but okay.
Yeah.
what's so special about it? Was it
Complete collection.
is it
Well, you know,
a late run of the game, or why
I
is
don't
it so
know.
expensive?
you know how the Genesis version was the one you plug in. And
Yeah,
you
it's
can have,
got
like,
it's got the
4
ports.
players.
Yeah,
I don't know if this one does anything crazy like
it's
that.
got the J cart on the.
No, this one you had to use the Game Gear Link cable.
Oh, that's it. That's just a link cable.
Yeah, so I don't know why it's expensive, but
I just think it's really uncommon, and if you're trying to
it's
get
Codemasters.
collection,
Pete Sampras is Codemasters. That's why it's expensive. And I think it was a late release, I believe.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only reason why it would be so expensive if it was like the last of the Game Gear.
Maybe it's because
Yeah,
we didn't know that the tennis ball hit the guy in the face after the photo.
I can make it happen.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Look at the expensive sports titles on the NES, the Super Nintendo, like all of them, like the 64 even. There's expensive sports on each of them.
does anybody have any of these expensive games?
I have Pete Sampras tennis in the UK.
I have Taz and Sonic.
yeah, I got Poker Face Paul's complete.
My Game Gear collection consists of 5 games, and 2 of them are on here.
Sonic 2,
Sonic 2 and Blackjack.
Yes. Sonic 2, you can find complete in box like really easily. Like
That was a gift actually to me from Bones.
I see that everywhere.
I think I got it in my last.
Yeah, Bones gave it to me.
All right, well that's it for franchise of the month.
All
Not
right.
bad, guys.
All right, you know what it is. It's System Podcast number 6, obviously. Sega Game Gear is what we're talking about. I wonder what gave that away. So here's a little bit about the Game Gear if you didn't already know. Game Gear is an 8-bit 4th gen handheld console. Released October 6, 1990 in Japan, April 91 in North America and Europe. Game Gear was rushed to the market to compete with Atari Lynx and Turbo Express. The downfall was the short battery life, lack of original games, weak support, unable to surpass the Game Boy. It sold 10.6 million units by March and discontinued in 97. Re-released in 2000 under Majesco, under the license by Sega. Original retail price is $150, and they have a total of 366 US games. Anything to add to that? No?
That's more games than I thought, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the number I got. I don't know how true it is. I found it online. You know, online can lie to us. So, but that's what I found. All right, here we go. as all the other system podcasts, this is going to be the same layout, same form. Nothing changes, just a console or handheld. Number one, your experience with the console. Have you played it? If so, when was the first time? Bones?
Yes, I played it, but you're asking me to remember the first time. I couldn't tell you exactly, but I could tell you close to it. And that would be my buddy Glenn getting it for Christmas one year.
So it would have been in 91, 90?
Yeah.
91.
Somewhere around, because he always got all the newest consoles. And I never had them. So, yeah, I'm going to say towards the very beginning of when it came out.
All right, dad level?
Yeah, I have experience with it. The first game I played on it probably would have been the X-Men game that came out for it. At least that first X-Men game. I don't remember when that was. Probably 11, 12 years old.
All right, Dan?
I never like this question because it shows off how old I am, but I played this.
Hey, you made this up, remember?
I know, but I made this. I mean, I played this console when it first came out. I remember my my freshman roommate in college got it, and all it came with columns at the time, and then later on, for some reason, they were giving away Sonic for free when you bought the system or something, or wherever you got it from. And so, like 3 months later, it came in the mail. So that was like at that point, I was like, "Oh, this is a pretty cool system." I actually never owned one until within the last like 10 years. I one year, a few years ago, I said, "Oh, yeah, I don't have this. I'm gonna go buy it," and they were cheap. I got it for $30, and then it needed recapping, but still, it was pretty cheap to buy the system. So I've owned it. I haven't owned it for very long.
MT Shark?
Yeah, I believe the first time I played it was had like a summer program when I was younger, back in like 1993, and I saw a bunch of kids have it, and I played it there. And I remember I was like super excited about how it was like color, and the Game Boy didn't have color. So I told my parents, and then I think that following Christmas is like I got that with the Sonic 2 bundled together.
Oh, was?
Yeah, I played it as a kid. I think it was probably 92 or 93 for Christmas.
Next question. Do you collect for this console? How many games do you own for this console? Oh, was?
I do collect for it, and I've got close to 100 games.
MT Shark?
Yeah, I collect for it. I'm going for a full set. I believe right now I have like almost 200 games.
So, Mark, if you're going for a full set, is 366 sound right?
I have to look. I might be including the UK and Japanese exclusives as well. I have to look at my list.
All right, no problem. Dan?
I do collect. Like I said, I haven't collected for very long. I have 80 or so games for that. I was focusing on the good games. I didn't really want to get like everything on it. So, but it wasn't too expensive to, except for a few of the higher price ones. It wasn't too expensive to really build a big library pretty fast.
That level?
I do collect for it. I think I'm about 46. So just whenever I can find ones that I'm looking for. A lot of times you really don't kind of see them in the wild, at least over here.
Yeah, that's anywhere is rarely, to be honest with you. Bones?
Well, I don't currently collect per se for it. Like most games, I don't turn my back or turn them down when they're there cheap or for free. I have currently only like 25 games, so
Shit.
I don't have, like, compared to you guys, I have a drop.
There is no compared to you guys. I have a drop in the bucket compared to you. Like I got five games, Bones.
Yeah, I only have 25.
You got 20 more than I do.
Do you have a system, Chris?
Yeah,
Five
yeah, I
times
have one.
then.
Yeah, I have one. Um, 3. Impact of this console on video game history. Dan?
I want to say that it didn't have as big of an impact as like Game Boy and stuff. So like I feel like it's more of an afterthought these days. I mean, I'm nostalgic about it. I like it, and I think it's, and like Mark said, having color should have been a game changer.
Yep.
Maybe it did in terms of like inspiring the next Game Boy Color or whatever. But yeah, I mean, looking back, I don't think too many people are like, oh, I got to get a Game Gear or I got to get this.
That's because of that damn battery life.
Yeah, or they need a Game Gear collection or something, of all the greatest Game Gear games or something. So I think it's like nostalgic, retro, interesting, but I don't think it's like, I don't think it made a huge splash as it should have.
That level.
I would agree. The only thing I guess for my gaming history is because it was the first console that had color, handheld wise, that my dad was interested in getting us.
Bones.
The only thing I can say that the impact it made in my eyes is, yet again, it's another instance where Sega showed that they don't put enough buttons on their shit. That's about it. Other than that, I mean, there were so many other handhelds out at the time. I mean, I don't know how much of an impact it really did show. I mean, it was just one of those flops. Everyone flopped but Nintendo. I mean, it's the sad truth.
Yeah, it does feel weird. Like, play a Steam Deck and then go play Game Gear. You're like, wow, this thing only has 2 buttons.
Yeah, even after mod in mine, it still is only fun for a little while.
MC Shark.
Yeah, I think it had a good impact because then I think Nintendo wanted to get a colored console, so that's when the Game Boy Color came out. So I think it had a decent impact. And circling back to the previous question, I actually have 166 games in my collection, and on this list I have it's only 233 games for US.
I don't know. Like I said, the list that I found online, it said 366 US.
Yeah, I think that might be including like UK exclusives and Japanese as well.
But why would it say US games only?
I don't know.
Somebody made a typo.
Yeah, it must have been.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't think it had as big as an impact as we might have hoped, at least those who had it as a kid. But I mean, it had the TV tuner, so you could actually pick up TV on.
I read about that.
Yeah, I always wanted to get one of those, and I never did. But I think battery life hopefully was a big thing that Nintendo took away from it. Is like, you need to have a battery life where people can actually play a game, because I could barely even play it until we got the big battery, rechargeable battery that you could hook on your belt loop and run around with it. Oh, and it also had backwards compatibility though with the Master System. You could get an adapter and play all the Master System games on it.
Cool. All right, number 4, current state of collecting for this console. OWAS.
I think it's still pretty affordable. There's some really, like Mega Man and Pete Sampras are some heavy hitters, but you could get probably 70-80% of the collection, and it not, and those are games that are going to be less than $60 loose.
MC Shark.
Yeah, I'm currently collecting for the full set.
Dan.
Yeah, I mean, like 10 years ago, whenever I started getting the system, it was definitely easy to collect the system. I imagine it's a little bit more expensive now. The one thing I will say though, I think if you're going, and this is not me, but if you're going for a complete and box collection, that'll be extremely difficult. I never see boxed Sega Game Gear games ever in the wild.
I hardly ever see Game Gear games, period, in the wild.
Well, yeah, I see like loose ones pretty cheap sometimes, but like I rarely see if it is a box game, it's like some mass produced like Lion King or Sonic or something like that.
Aladdin,
yeah. yeah, every time I see like a junk pile of stuff, like buy this bin for like $5, Aladdin's always in there. So, but other than that, like I think going for the boxes is really really hard.
That level.
I see them on occasion. As far as the box stuff, my buddy Rob has some that I'm probably gonna pick up next meetup we go to. I guess I can think about maybe 8 games. Some of them just most common stuff or whatever, but it'd be kind of cool to have. But I don't. It's rare that I see Game Gear games out in the wild.
And Bones.
I don't really have a current state of collecting for it. Not at this current moment.
Number 5, the games. This console is best known for which type of games? Oz.
Columns.
Yeah.
Or Sonic 2. But I think columns. Or was it Columns 2? Really, like, because Sega was trying to make something to compete with Tetris, and Columns came out, and some people really gravitated towards that one.
Bones.
That's a tough one. I'm just gonna go with one that I liked a lot, and that was Streets of Rage on it.
That level.
I mean, if we're talking about like type of games,
Yeah,
I mean,
type of games.
I would say platformers, but
Yeah, like type of
I-
games.
if I was going to say a game that I like enjoyed the most on it, would have been Shining Force.
Mark, MT Shark.
Yeah, I would say platformers
Dan,
are relatively good on the system.
DanCav.
Yeah, I think definitely. I think definitely platformers, and it's just a sign of the times. 8-bit era, a lot of very simple 2D platformers.
All right, number 6, the games. Name some classic titles for this console. Anybody?
Double
Sonic 2.
Dragon.
Yes, Sonic.
Sonic.
Aladdin's pretty good.
Aladdin is, yep.
Mortal Kombat.
You have anything that level?
The X-Men game was fun.
All right, we'll leave it at that. 7, the games. Name some games to avoid. Columns.
Super Battle Tank.
Oh, Stargate.
Blackjack.
Any of the sports games.
Yeah, don't pay $200 for tennis, okay?
P. Sampras.
Yeah. I think any game that
version.
because this system was out when the Genesis was out, so I think any game that was you could play on the Genesis, the Game Gear version was probably a very downgraded version of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's a Barbie game on there. Avoid it.
All right. I know we already got like a little bit of a taste of what Oaz was saying about like any memorable hardware or peripherals for this console. He already named 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything else for that?
The wide gear.
Yeah, that dumb thing. My God.
The giant magnifying glass.
Oh yeah.
I think that came with every handheld back then.
Yeah. I mean,
The Game Boy.
It was always bundled somehow.
there's a carrying case they had for it.
I've got one.
Yeah, I do too. There's a couple different storage things they had. I mean,
Yeah.
besides the tuner, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. I think there was like 1 or 2 other accessories that they had that plugged in. You name one, the Master System.
Yeah, the converter. Yep.
The Master System one's a good one though. Like I would recommend getting one for the Game Gear.
All right.
And the battery pack.
Yeah. Oh, well, I was already mentioned that too.
Is there a mod for the Game Gear that you could recharge it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. Yeah.
I would think so.
I've got one that's modded that has rechargeable batteries in it.
Nice.
Alrighty. Number 9. If you want to check out this console without the actual hardware and games, what is the best alternatives? Anybody?
Mega SG
The,
with a Game Gear adapter.
Yep, I was about to say that.
So Mega
Yeah.
SG.
That's how I play them.
Yeah, this is an easy console to emulate. Every Raspberry Pi or anything
Mhm.
is able to do that.
I've
So-
seen it seems to be like that's always the answer for this question. Like,
And yeah,
there's not much more
and,
you can say, really.
and typically I think somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but like if something can do the Game Gear, it can also emulate Master System usually. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as the emulator itself is set up for it.
It's pretty interchangeable, I think, in terms of like.
Because the Game Gear the Game Gear could display more colors because it had a better video processor than the Master System did. Which is why you can go Master System to Game Gear, but if you go back from Game Gear to Master System, it can create issues.
You say something,
Before
Bones?
they closed the shop down, you had the 3DS shop you could get some Game Gear games from it. I have a few that I downloaded from there.
That's right. Yeah.
Bones, did you say something?
Just do the feasible easy thing. Go to Mark or Dan's.
All right,
I do have a flash cart for the Game Gear.
I assumed you did.
what a surprise! Dan have a flash card.
So yeah, it works pretty well.
Number 10 we could just skip because there is no greatest hits as far as I know for this.
I think there's a
That's
classic
correct.
line.
There's a what?
None. Nothing.
A classic line.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know if it was available here, but I believe it was over in the UK. So they even did classic
Wow.
for the Master System, and so they would have I think like a gray,
Yeah.
blue back.
Huh. That's
As opposed to
interesting.
purple.
I thought the manuals represented the classic stuff too, depending on the cover of it.
Oh, they may have. I don't have too many manuals for Game Gear games.
Yeah, that's a hunt down classic version.
Well, you're not hunting that down here apparently. You better swim across the pond.
Do you think if you live in UK, like it's easier to find games there?
Yes, for the Master System and the Game Gear, yeah, because it was more fun.
I know people that live over there, and I don't. They have some struggles on some stuff, though. I can tell you that, and I don't know if it's particularly for anything Sega related. I have to talk and investigate that farther, and I can let you know. All right, last question. Get my opinion on sleeving the games. No, these are not easy, believe it or not. The smaller they get, the harder they are. The smaller they are, the harder they are. A while ago, they were pretty popular. People wanted them from me, just because you can display it on the shelf pretty easily. It has a spine, whereas unless you have the box, you don't have a spine. I can't really give you the best example, but I can tell you I offer both, one with the clamshell and one without the clamshell, cart only sleeves. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. Any questions you guys got for me as far as sleeves are concerned for that?
What do you think about the box art? Does it stand out to you? Have you any memorable?
Just like any other console, there's always going to be some that are better than others.
Have you had the 3D pop a cart sleeve?
I have, but not for Game Gear.
Yeah.
I've done it for Game Boy.
I haven't ever asked you. This is the one system I don't ask you for sleeves for.
Yes, that is true.
But you said people do. People have actually for sleeves.
Yeah. I've had quite a bit actually of people ask me for sleeves for these. Again, just because for display purposes, they wanted to be able to see the title of the game without digging through all the games to try to find it. It's a easy alternative than trying to display your games a certain other way. like face out. Like a lot of people don't want to display and take up all that room face out. So with the spine out and having the game title there, it's a lot easier.
I wonder. There's definitely a market for clamshells for Game Gear games with cover art or something.
Yeah, that's that's why I don't ask Chris for sleek, because I use custom game cases. They have nice clamshells, so it might have been even before I met you, Chris. But like I went and ordered a bunch of clamshells.
Yeah,
For
matter
my
of fact, I
collection.
remember when you got those because you said you ordered them and they didn't get you your delivery, and then one day you came and home and you said all of a sudden you had them.
Yeah, yeah. They were severely back. This is
Yeah,
way
you
before
were
the pandemic.
They were backlogged
They were
big time.
back for like a year or something, and so I ordered all these. I had all these loose games in a box, and I ordered all these, and then I was almost about to give up on it, and one day they just showed up like 100 boxes came up on my doorstep.
Any other questions, comments? No? All right. Game of the month. Oh, was. Let's keep it Game Gear. Let's keep it Game Gear related.
Keep it Game Gear.
If you can. If not, you
We'll
give
go,
me.
we'll go with Axe Battler. It's a fun game. It's an interesting divergent from the Golden Axe beat 'em up.
Okay. Empty Shark.
I'll go with Jurassic Park. That's a fun one on that system.
DanCav.
Oh man. I'll say Vampire Master of Darkness.
That level.
Shining Force, Sword of my Jaw, I think it is. Just because I love tactical RPGs.
And Bones.
Double Dragon all the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Shining Force too. That's a reason to own the Game Gear, just to play the Shining Force game.
Shining Force is good. Jurassic Park is good too.
Yes, yeah, it is.
All right, I'll have to put that down. I don't think I have that.
All
Any
right.
other good suggestions? Like really good game, or
Aladdin.
Yeah, that'd be good.
it's best bang for your buck, I bet, for this system.
But Castle of Illusion, it's different than the Genesis version.
And you mentioned some other game earlier that was better than the Master System version. Oh, it was different. Oh, Batman.
Batman Returns, yeah.
Yeah, Batman Returns.
I did a $100 video on it's up on YouTube for the Game Gear, and let me see if I can find it. So, Surf Ninjas and Psychic World and Deep Duck Trouble for starring Donald Duck. Those are all good games and I think underrated.
So is this the Surf Ninjas where they didn't have actually a game cart in the game, just Game Gear and stuff, and they're playing it like there wasn't in there?
Yeah, stuff the kid did on the screen affected the movie.
Yeah.
The game is surprisingly good. I thought it was gonna be garbage, and I mean it's like $12. You can get it
Nice.
loose. Yeah.
All right.
Adding these to the list.
Any other comments? Nothing? Anything? No? All right. Thank you. As always, guys.
Whose idea was it to do the Game Gear?
It was actually Dad Level and Mark's.
Yep.
All right.
And they're both here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Thank you. Please
I
like.
didn't want to let y'all down, so.
Yeah. We got to figure out what the next console is. I guess we could do that once we get off of here. Please like, comment, and subscribe. As always, don't blow, just leave. Later.
See ya.
Peace.
Until
Bye.
next time.
One.
But three, actually, maybe more than that. At least three of them need to be recapped.
All right, sound check.
VGA out.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Dad Level.
I'm here.
Dan.
So,
I am here too.
Mark. Say that again, Mark.
I'm here.
You keep coming in and out a little bit.
I'm here.
All right, I got you. Oh
It
wow.
almost sounded like Peanuts. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, it did.
Or Nanny from Muppet Babies.
I can't go outside and play. Oh, it's raining. Okay.